Welcome. Since one video of 1 hour and 45 minutes did not upload, and the second one did upload, again, the first one was fantastic. I was right in the zone. Look at this. What does it look like? This is tuna, okay? Salmon, tuna, whatever you want to talk about. I believe that the cattle, the beef cattle that we eat, actually comes out of the ocean. I think fish is the cow. They built us. We were built. The cows and animals didn't just come here like that. They built the science. Some of the science already existed just through manipulation within the universe. But everything else was created. I'm eating fish, but it's not fish. It's not fish at all. I'm eating beef. Why? Because the fat from the tuna looks just like the fat that comes out of the beef. Fat is fat? No. Just like beta, okay, is two sides. She's the two humps of the bee. She's the life she gives is between her. I'm believing that Adam is a ball, or it's a ball at the end of a teardrop. Inside of this leaf is a seed. The seed is Adam, the leaf is beta. She feeds the seed. So we have Adam and beta. It's almost like, looking, here's my tie. The other thing I wanted to say is Merry Christmas. I will be doing right after this the 12 Days of Christmas on a short note. I know it won't get good for 6 months, but I'll do my best. And if I don't find it good enough, I won't do it at all. You see what the light does? You see what the light does to things? The bottle cap. Another thing about the bottle cap is, imagine if this space was empty in the middle. It would hook the jacks. All the jacks would hook jack up to each side of it, the cord, and then drag the cord all the way down. Can you call that the cortex? And then you'd be connecting one part of your system. Spirit, for me, comes into one of your ears. And it's part of the air. The air that you breathe are like little fish swimming upstream. The salmon just went upstream. They're dead. The salmon just went upstream. They're dead. Two hemispheres. I'm sweating bullets. What does it mean to sweat a bullet? Two sides. Before, in the ancient world, they had one cone. At the end of the cone, they had one of these. At the end of the cone, because it was one hemisphere or two hemispheres that went all the way up to the point, went into one round hemisphere, and then came down the center. You can always climb up the sides and then come down the center. Go up the stairway of a building and then come down the center. This is the letter R. R wants to hang around. Somehow it could go like this until it's picked up. I don't know how it works. I do know we are in the electronic world. I'm definitely so sure of it. I did want to say into a video so that we mentioned this. The other thing is the number 7. If you ever look at the number 7, it looks like a swan. It looks like a hook. It hooks on the top, it hooks on the bottom. But this, it hooks on this side. This, it hooks on this side. This, it hooks from this side in. This, it hooks from the outside in this way. This goes in this way to hook. This goes in this way to hook. It holds this one and this one. This on your keyboard is 159. It's A, E, and I. It's the plug up. No, this way. You see the swan the way it is this way? The Aleph letter is this way. So you connect Aleph to beta. Aleph would be the straight line. Beta would be the curved line. That's the way I would look at it. You have to find a way to look at it. Have you ever thought of D and G? Well, they have vehicles on the road called Western Stars. Because in the mouth of the G, if you put them back to each other, you end up making the sands and the tar pits. And I'm not sure if it's the tar or the stars, because Bell is under the ground. Who is in the stars? If the rats are under the ground, that means Bell is in the stars, but by under the ground must be another world under the ground and outside this world, because they say China and everything turns upside down, so they're completely upside down from us. Don't forget, if you really look at this world, China is just over here. I'm over here, China's there, that's it, 24 hours away. It doesn't go under the world like this. It goes under the world like this, in a flat spore. talking about a flat 4. You see number 4? Because we get to the level over here, 1, 2, 3 levels, and then over here it stops. So we have to stop the 4. You put the 7 with the 1, you become the 4. You turn the 4 on its angle into this world because it's a 45 angle in this world. How do I know? 4 and 5 both equal to 256. Why? 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 is 25. Times 5 is 125, which is May 5th. Times 5, which is 625. 625 is 365. Okay? 365 with 255. Let me see if that's right. 363, 625, which is 360 and 265. 265. Okay. 265 and 360, or 365 and 265. Why I chose this is because this is complete in a direction. This is a percentage above. In order to get 365, you have to go a percentage above creation. The 0 is always 6, so you'll get 366. This amount is 625. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. If you multiply it by the 41, it'll equal 25,625. If you notice, 3 and 4 are not in here, and I just went to JFK Boulevard the other day, and I went to the address of 265 JFK. The exit was number 34. There is no space for 34. 34 is missing here, as well as it's missing here. 265 and 625 are the same numbers, 625. Okay? Now, 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 equals 256. 9 is the difference between these two. Every level is a level of 9. 9 by 4 is the 360 degrees. This is JFK right in between. 6 and 5 is the wolf and the beta world, 2. In the 2 world, the 2 hemispheres. I'm so excited. Oh my God, I smoked a little Mary. Did you see? I've been smoking this all day. I've been smoking this all day. The thing is, then I have to come down. I have to come down from the tree. My mother won't let me play in the branches anymore. I like to stay in the trees. It's so easy, I don't bother anybody. Wow, the trees are so beautiful. All I do is tell you a story from what I see, and I'm in the trees. I don't have to go out and play. I don't have to get wild on the street. I have to get wild within my own mind. And it's so exciting, but I know after I do this video, well, I'll be able to relax myself because I can paint. As long as I'm always doing something of interest, I'll be able to relax my bipolar mind. Bipolar, to be able to go to the 2 hemispheres. BP, 2 and 16, makes 666. 2 and 16, beta world, the one light, the one spirit light. I'm entering into 2 worlds, my friend. This is the way I have to see it. I can't see it any other way, and I must believe it to keep my sanity. Because if I'm mixed up and don't know what's happening within my own mind, I will be lost and forever lost and forever lost. But now I know there's a secret. I must be in another world, and I am in another world. People tell me I'm in another world. Therefore, I'm safe and sound. That means there must be 2 other worlds in my mind. Can a mind just make it up? Can a mind become that intelligent? Are we that idiotic? Sorry to say it that way, but they bring somebody in, they tell them, you're seeing things. Why are you seeing things if we're not schizophrenic? If this world was just, if they say it's impossible for the world to just have been created that way, then how do you become schizophrenic? How does your mind know to see something else? Because there's a bad connection. If there was a good connection, A, you wouldn't have it. But B, if it was a good connection, there would be no problem in this world and everything would be perfect. Nobody would have any ego. But we have bad connections and we have ego. Ego, the 5 spirit of go and monopoly. Do you want to get into monopoly? Didn't I tell you B and O? The 2 worlds of Omega. B and O. B and O rail is number 26. We're in the dog pound. 26, you dice 25 to get over there. 25 brings you on to 26 because we start on go and go is 1. So if you dice 25 and you're standing on 1 go and you have your avatar, you're 512 megabyte. Your avatar is the totality of who you are. You are the one light that throws the 2 dice, that moves the man. The man is not electrical, but he gets moved by you and he counts. He counts on the board. You have transformed your 6 into the light on the board. He becomes 6. So right away, if you get, like I said, 25 on the dice brings you to B and O, the beta omega light. The beta omega light. It's almost like taking it and you squeeze her in this way. You shove her feet under one thing, you shove her feet on the other thing. Now she's plugged in. She's like a neon light bulb. And here she is. This can be what she is. Z versus Z. The bulls conquering X over the two sides of the mind. Is the spirit supposed to know more than what the soul does? Is the soul supposed to have any control? Or is it because of what they did to us that we end up looking at things a different way and having egos sit over us? Not being able to sit down like a cat for 6 hours. Another thing in the Addams family, remember I was telling you Pumbaa? Okay, the pig. Well, in the Addams family, it's Pugsley. Pugsley, Pumbaa, for me it's the same day. But Pugsley, okay, L-E-Y, the electronic world, one wing of Earth. Number 52, number 25 is the letter Y. The one wing, the flying pigs. Pugsley, the Addams family, Wednesday. The W, why? Because it's VW. Do you know what I'm thinking? Watch this. You know what I'm thinking? Number 6 is down here. This is only in one corner, okay? In a corner, there's always 4 corners. So if you put 3 more corners here, okay, what would actually happen? You would have one on top and you would point it this way. You'd have one on top, you'd point it this way. What I'm trying to say, if we broke this up into 4, okay, or we put one on top of the other, it'll turn into an X. If we put one V on top of the other one, it'll be an X. Now, it'll be 4 parts. This is the thing they use in French to put it onto an A letter. They put this onto an A letter. But if you flip one on top of the other, it would say 6-9, and it would show you an X, which means 6-9 on top of each other. You need to connect with the moon. You need to connect with your moon. So you have that small V. Where does that small V come from? That small V comes from right here. You see when you make the X over here? Look very closely. Forget about the long legs that I made. It's inside one square. You have 4 divisions inside one square. Therefore, making you 1/4 of everything. No, if you're the top, you're the bottom. They point into each other, take away the sides. You're half. Half spirit, half soul. But you're really a quarter because you're nothing without the electronics. You need life. You need life. Your brain needs a life to go to. I'm sitting in a star with all kinds of information, but I'm not going to my star to get it out because it has no life. By me bringing out what I think and how I see things, I bring life to a story in which you bring the light upon the story. When you come inside, you erect the world. You erect my world within your own. You make it your own. All I am is, let's say you're following the riverbank. That's all I become. I become the riverbank, and you're following down the riverbank, listening to a story in your head. But the story that comes out is my story. But don't say it is my story. Say it is my story. I want to hear you say it's my story. So as you hear me speak, you're telling yourself, that's my story. That's my story. And it is. Because for whatever it becomes, after you hear it, it instantly becomes what your thought is. It is now your story. And you barely had to say share. You shared on your own. The volitude. The VW, you see the way it's up and down the manana? This is the North Star, and this makes more like the manana, because they're inside. This thing turns around and hits this leg and hits this leg. It shows X and X. When it hits this leg, it shows XV. XV is 15. When it shows this one, it shows XV. This is 15. 15 and 15, the 2 eggs equal 30. 2.5 times a dozen equals 30, and you got a farmer's set of eggs. Set means 3. You must learn poker terms to learn more. We must also learn sports, how many points you can score at one time, what is the possibility of the most and the least, and I want to know in sports if it's a foul. It's a foul, you could be playing soccer. You come home after playing soccer and you smell foul. You walk into the chicken house. No, you go into the baseball stadium and they scream foul ball. You end up on the farm and you see all the foul all around. When you look up at the pigeons, which is like a pig, géant, pigs fly, pigeons. The ham stares, the pigs fly. Everything is brown. Everything is brown. There's nothing, there's no red. The red comes from the air you breathe. That's all the air comes, that's the way I see it. You want to see me blow? Do you want to see me blow? I took in the cold, I froze the ducks didn't fly south, and I breathed them out, and out go the ducks, flying towards the snow from the south. The Illuminati knows. The clubhouse. The clubhouse. The clubhouse. The clubhouse, the spade, or do you want to put it up this way? No, exclamation point. I know. Between your nose. This nose is going up here. You see what they wear, the turbans? This can be your cat's whiskers. Right over here, fiber optics. I feel when I touch. Uh-oh, don't look. The Colorado mountains? No, it's a mouse. I'm not sure it's a manana, but we're going north, northwest. There's a star in between. You know why we need a star? Because you see these little lines over here? I want to show you something. This is what happens in one motion on one side. This is your crossing. This will be your T crossing, okay? But in all actuality, here's your letter again. You've just extended it because the hands touch. Then it touches this wire over here. This turns and it feeds all the way down to here. Or it feeds all the way up. I don't have this one down. But somehow, nuclear reactors. What did I just say? Nuclear reactors? Forget I said that. Virginia and North Carolina. Have you ever seen cars go into a tunnel? Have you ever seen a bus go into a tunnel? There's an accident, but no, it's a fake accident. So they take the people out of the bus, or they close down the tunnel. They open up the doors under the tunnel, and they go to the electronic room. Or they open up the doors, and Bell Canada is all underneath the ground. There's only 7 letters, 7 numbers. There's 7 numbers in Bell. 7 numbers in Bell. There's 7 numbers in Bell. B and E. 725. 7 times 2 is 14. 14 times 5 is 70. It's the Reich letter. It's the R. It's the beginning that if I shut down this, I can create 2 R letters back to back, and they turn into a beta cassette. You got to drill one. Do one. But Bell becomes the 7th gate of Earth, of the bowl. The elixir is the Earth of 6 man. 6523. Now we have to understand what this is or what this is. I'm trying to understand myself. Oh yes, L and L. L and L is actually 3 and 3, so it'd be 75233. Seven, 2, 5, 3, 3 for L. Okay, but we need one more number. B and E, L and L. 2, 3, 3, 5. So I just stand the 5 and I put 5, 2, 3, 3, 2, 5. Oh, I made a mistake. I made a 5. Because in order to show that it's repeating, you have to repeat all the way to the first one. So it repeats 7, 5, 2, 3, 5, 5. What does that mean here? This means here 5775 is next year. It's this coming year, 2014. I forgot, I didn't, and that, what we just did is all because of this. We try to get to 625, so we got to it this way. Although in the Hebrew laws it says 365 and 248, excuse me. It says 365 here and 248 for 613. 248, 365, 613. Now, I can't start getting into this because this is 10 days and it's an expression in 10 days of time. And the other thing we had to talk about, excuse me, I need Red Bull. If Red Bull, then this, something to do with gold in the nose. We have to know what it is about gold. What do we breathe in? Because it's all about this thing over here. It's the nose. It's the bell it rings. You got knocked out. You got hit in the head. You got knocked out. Something to do with a boxing. Boxing what? They take out the bone in their nose. Why do they do that? What's over here in your nose? The world of everything. 625 tells that story. 613 are the laws, 365, 248. 248 is space. It's right now. Something about space, okay? Last year was about time. This time it's about space. Is it an amount of space taken up? Or right now, if you just listen, 2 weeks in a row, they went up to the space station to do some work. Why would they tell us that? Why would they tell us they're going up to the space station to do work? What would I care? They don't tell us anything else. Why tell us you're going up if you're not going to tell us any other part of the story? They went up to the space station, and now, I mentioned in a couple of videos, now they want to take down candlestick. And it's all spiritual. I mean, the television, Coast to Coast or whatever, they're talking, yeah, you fuck. Sorry about that. I mean, but she won't stop. I'm giving them away. I can't, unless I build a cage. I'm going to have to go lock myself in a cage. Right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to lock myself in a cage, okay, so they can't get in. Because I got 4 of them around me on the floor, and they're all waiting to pounce all the way up on the counter. I don't know what it is. It must be my audience. Or it must be my audio. See that little thing in the back of the throat? That's, for me, that's your pineal gland. I want to know what happens if that thing in the back of your throat disappears. I know we're plugged up. I know we're plugged up. And I know it's got to be something like this. It's one of these children's toys that are going to... It's one of these children... Sorry about that. It's one of these children's toys. And it's one of these children's toys for sure. Here's the Eiffel Tower. There's your 5-point star. So London has your Eiffel Tower 5-point star. So there's something going on with the Eiffel Tower for probably, as long as the Eiffel Tower is there, there's been something that's going on the Eiffel Tower. Probably something down underneath the ground in London, because I followed the waterways in London and I noticed it was weird the way it was always leading up to this certain area. And how did I know this certain area and I don't remember it now? Because of the street number. Just like I know in Kansas City, 70 and 35 cross, that's what told me about the twisters and the whirlwinds, because the 2 of them went 1.5. And 1.5 says one is coming in the middle of another. So if one comes in and it's one wing that comes in on one side, it's going to push the thing all the way around to keep on spinning. Therefore, we get all those whirlwinds. You want to hear something funny? That my son's grandfather's name is Noel. May he rest in peace. But that's from his mother's side. From his father's side, his father's name is Lionel. Lionel. My father's name is Lionel. Lionel. And his other that was my grandfather, and his other grandfather is Noel. That's really weird, eh? Not only that, Lionel in 2 languages, the E and the I can get exchanged between 5 and 9. Between 5 and 9 is 6, 7, and 8. Okay? You don't have to say 7 because 6 and 8 is already noted to be at the 7th gate. So what happens is you can either take out the 6 or the 8 or the 7 card. Since they always say the spirit of 76, they never mention the 8. Because once you have 6 and 7, right? 6, 7, 8, between 5 and 9, or 7 and 8, between 6 and 9. Why? Because 9 has the heart. I don't know how that works. 7 and 8, okay, is because the 7th gate is automatically opposite of the 8th gate. The 6, 4 plus 2 equals 6. 4 and 4 is 8. 2 and 6 is 8. 6 And how did I do? No, I wasn't going to. Yeah, 6 is the opposite of 8. Let me just show you. Here is 6, and here is 1. No, here is 6, on the opposite side is 1. Here is 8. 6 and 2 is 8. The opposite side is 5. 1 we did before plus the 5. That gives you your 6. 6 and 8. Let me have to show it one more time. Here is 6. See 5 and 3 on the other side? 6 and 5 and 3 on the other side. Now if you want to see, I was going to show you one more. 4, 6, 8. No 2, 4, 6, and 8. Can't have anything else. You got. How can you have 2? There's 2 dice. 4, 6. No, you could get 2. You could get 2. Okay, hold on a second. Here you have 4. No, you have to get 2. When you have 2 here, you have 8 here. If you have 8, you have 12, and you have 6. You have 6, 8, and 12. So you're 2, okay? And this is why when you count up to 12, okay, into this world, right away when you count to 12, 2 have to come away. Okay? The 2 have to come away. But no, because it doesn't start until this. Nothing starts until this. Okay? Nothing starts until this. Why? Because you need a center dot and a 2. So what is the opposition? Spirit, angel, and man, 11. 7, 7. Earth, Mars, Earth, Mars. You have no choice. There's no choice. There's no choice. So we don't count the 3. Don't count the 3. So don't count the 3. Okay? Don't count the 3. Add 7 and 11 is 18 and 7. It's 25. 7, take away the second 7, because 1 is the top, 1 is the bottom. Okay? 25, take away 7, is 18, which is 666 average. Because you use 3 sides. And if you want to look at it another way, you use 3 sides. You use the outsides, which is your 8. You use the front and the back. The front and the top. You want to use it on an L angle the same way they do when they play chess. Okay, so you use your 11 here. You got your 7. You got 7, 11. You're in the game of craps. You got Earth and Mars. You got the communication of the white wolf and the 7th gate. You want to start the game? You took away 3 from the Toto. You take away 3 and take away 11. Take away 14. Take away 14. What do you have? Take away 14. 7, 18, 25, 28. Take away 14. We got 14, 14 of 2 worlds. We got the cross on the back. You want to know what it looks like, the cross? Part of the cross? Part of the cross. Oh my God, every time I talk, I say just for the part, and he says the part. Every time I say something, the radio says the same thing as me. And now they're having something going on all about 0 again. 48 months, it's all about space, my friends. Something to do all about space in a movie, okay, that played, let's say, 2 years ago. Something in a movie that happened 2 years ago, fresh in our mind. Why would I say that? Because there's a 4-year difference between Fight Club of 1995 and 1999 and then 2001. So I want to do the same thing. It's 2 or 4 years you have to go back before you go forward. Why am I saying this? Because the dice show. The dice shows, this dice shows, okay, nothing began on this dice. Nothing began until you actually hit this dice. Okay? 1 and 6 and 2 and 6. Then you became the Earth person. But you didn't get into the world until you hit 3 and 4. The prism of Mars. This is the 0 that goes all the way up here. You go around this way. You make a curve this way and a curve this way, like an eye. Okay, now hold on a second. My cat is back up here. Our sandbox. Our sandbox. This is not supposed to be 688. This is a license plate I found. This says Z8, and this one gets to be 6. So here's your 6 and 6. Here's your 6. Here's your 6. Here's your 6. Hold on a second. So we have 6 in each one, but it's the 6th area of the 7th gate of the 7 and 7 world. But you can't use 7 as the 7th gate and say the 7th world and the 7th world, because then you're actually saying you're both in the same world. So you say you put actually a 6 here and a 6 here, and this that turns around will spark the life of this one, and then it'll spark the life of this one, making this 9 and 9. Or it's just the sandbox as 6, 8, 6. 6 times 8 is 48. 8 by 8 is 64. 64 by 6 is 384. And I think that's the number of days in a Hebrew leap year. The ducts of your nose. 5, 7, and 6. Again, back to 18. 6, 6, 6. The same thing that happens here. You don't have to say, you say 6 or you say 8. I told you 6 reflects 8. So you don't have to say it. It's 1. You say 1, you said 2. 7 reflects 7. 7 reflects 7. But 6 and 1, 7 is 6 and 1, 7. It's A and G. There is nothing higher. There is no 16. It's all in the low range. It's 2. It's 2 rows. It's A, B, C. And you understand what I'm saying? It's A, B, C in the first row, and then all the other rows go underneath it. How can I explain it? There's 3 angles. Because it's 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, and then 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, 17 continued, and then 3, 6, 9, 12, 18 continued. And those are the rows. And I'm trying to think. So those are the roads. I'm trying to think of what I don't remember where I was. I missed something, so I'm going to have to jump onto something else. You see this? Omega. Put my hands up, put my hands down. Put my hands up, put my hands down. So if you imagine they put their hands down to my shoulders, I put my hands down to the next shoulders if I was on my knees praying. Okay? By putting it up and down, I'm the electronic. Up and down, if you show it, I become the E. This becomes the center head. This becomes up. This becomes the center head. And these 2 arms, the E. The sigma in the Greek letter, in the Greek alphabet. I become the E. At the same time, it makes the letter M, and makes the letter M because my head, if it's touched on each side, it would be a V up and then a V down because of my jaw. It's from 2 different worlds. Okay? It's anyways, so what happens is they're up and I'm down. So I look like, one of them looks like a W and one of them looks like an M. It says Mom in the center. Or if you look at it, you can say Mars, Earth. Why not say Mars, Earth? Because the 2 hands up, it makes a V here. The 2 hands up, it makes a V here. My 2 sides of my head. The 2 sides of my head. 2 hemispheres. 2 sides of the head. Here's the bird. He's actually looking at you, but no, it's 2 little birds. It's 2 little birds trying to eat. Or it's a critter that's crawling on the ground. Over here. The bombs. A bomb's bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? Star-spangled, star, drum set, banging bombs on your air. When you breathe, it's in the air, it's in the water you drink. It's in the water you drink and it's in the air you breathe. That's what it's telling me. The salts are very important. I'm going to take this, the advice of the girls, and they told me that pink Himalayan salt, which I went to 3 places today. I'm a liar. I went to 2 places, and they didn't have. But I'm going to find it. 2014. Why? Because 007 didn't exist before. Take away 7 years. We're in 2007. This coming July is going to be a very... I'd like to know what date it is. The 7th of July, I'd like to know. Or if it's not the 7th of July, it's April 4th. So I'm not sure what we did, where we went. The skull bones. See number 10? CXO? Does anybody see XO right here? Does anybody see XO? Here's the O. Here's the X. XO equals 39, 13, 13, 13 in 3 different worlds. I just want to say one thing that I already said. Okay? When you make this X, okay, it makes 4 V's in one area. 4 V's, okay, is number 22. Created by the X is number 24. That's Grover Cleveland. When I do this and this, I'm actually showing M or the Federation, because the 2 V's in between over here, my head's going straight up. The only thing I can create with this, if another head goes on top of me, because of our shoulders going this way, we create the H and the I. And it becomes the H and the I equals to 17. Number 17 is A and G in the piano when you connect the one spirit to the 7th gate. The 7th gate is the 2P that spins in the middle. And it's all you need is the rod for the brain to work. If the brain doesn't work, well, you're just not here. You're just not the same person. You're more of a Mongol because you can't work with the spirit. It doesn't work in your head. Or the spirit works in your head, but you couldn't connect the soul. Maybe the spirit connects to everything. Oh yes, maybe it is for sure. Maybe the spirit is what keeps you alive. If you don't connect to the spirit at all, you're not alive, because otherwise who would you be? Souls are nothing. Souls, you need to put something into the soul. You got to put your foot in the shoe to have your soul, the bottom of your foot, for your running shoes to touch the ground. You got to be standing 2 feet on the ground. Now you're well grounded. The well, the bottom of the well is the bottom of your mind. The water well of what we are, our whole body thinks for us. We get nervous, it comes out of our whole body. 0, a 2-year plan from smartphone. What I wanted to tell you, it's from TELUS. See the TELUS sign the way it is? See it underneath? The way it's crossed over, it's the 5-point star. It looks like it's running. Suel, tel, the salt, the insulated. Ilus, ilut, to be elected. TNS, spirit, number 39, to be elected. Elut, to be elected. And look at that. This comes from Saturn. So who owns Nokia? This is Saturn's star. I know right away. It's one spirit light, and Saturn now has or had 61 moons, in which they used to have 60. So you know what that tells me? When it had 60, it was telling time. When it had 61, it was telling time inside the one spirit life. 19 times 19 equals 361. The one that man is the spirit light of the 6. Once the one light goes in man, it lights up 6. That lights up 6. That lights up 6. That the reflection relights up 6, 6, and 6 inside both worlds. So now you light up 6, 6, and 6 in one hemisphere, 6, 6, and 6 in 2 hemispheres. Why? Because you have to do this. You have to connect all the ways in. You connect this side and that side. If you put them both this way, they'll all interfere with each other by putting them this way. Okay, you got one here, you got one here, one here, one here, one here. That's basically something like that. Maybe it's like that it works. I'm not really sure. 2 hemispheres, right? You plug this one in and you plug this one in. So you have this head. So now you remember when I spoke, your hands were out like this or up like this? Like this. Okay? See the way they come together as a V? That's your Venus life. Your 11 has covered your 0. So instead of your 11, it's 101, your one life. Your one life of the left hemisphere, your one life of the right hemisphere. So it becomes L1 and R1, because that's what they are. L1 becomes 13. R1 becomes 19. L1 equals 13 and R1 equals 19. But we have to have spirit and soul, S and S. So I have to work on that number, because for spirit and soul to see if there's an added effect, saying the right-hand side of my brain is 666. So this would be soul, and the 13 would be spirit. So that's the left side would be spirit, and the right side would be soul. So that means if they would hook up in the Da Vinci Code, he was hooking, it was down like this. So was it coming out from the window this way, or was it going down? The soul. The other thing, if you're bending over, all you have to do is take a look at the Aleph. The Aleph is bent over towards the right. But if you're looking at it, it's bent over towards the right. If you're not looking at it, it's bent over towards the left. So it tells you the difference between spirit and soul. I'd have to study that to actually know the answer. And there is an answer within the plane of the words. Look at this. Earth, Saturn. Two different cards. Earth, Saturn, the connected DNA, A, E, and I, creation. L12, 3 by 4 is 12. 3 plus 4 is 7, the creation of A, E, and I. The INVADER inside the 1 and 5. What does that mean? 9 is inside 2, 3, and 4. 9 is inside 2, 3, and 4. Now why? Because the 3, 9 is inside. I had the 1 over here. I had the 5 over here. Okay, inside the egg. 2, 3, and 4. 9 is inside. So I put 2, 3, and 4. 3 times 3 is 9. 3, okay, and the 2 card are inside this 3 card, and the 3 card has an ace dot in the 9 hole. The 2 and 4, like I showed you, 4 up here because it goes one way, it makes the 0, and you have to get to the 0, the heart of light. The 0 or the halo has all kinds of strands like fiber optics that come down and attach somewhere else. So what I wanted to mention, 2, 3, and 4, is this is your 1 and 5. So this is your 1 and 5, and this is your 1 and 5. Then this, okay, is your reader. This is your 7. And then these 2 go down. See these 2 go down? Finger 2 and finger 4, finger 4 and finger 2. And they read. This turns, and they go in the sand, and they read. And they just move. You know when they say there's a wobble? Yeah, because it rubs in the sand. It plays in the sand. Where do I think the teeth are? I think the teeth of the shark are in the W, where there's 1 at the top, 2 at the bottom, because the W is like your mustache. It turns all the way around, but nothing really moves at all. It turns all the way around, and the electronics that go through the needles. And these needles that we have that detect everything in our body, that's our life. These needles that don't do anything but carry the current of the thought of the shark tank in the mind of man's prism upon the sandbox of Mars, situated and taken out of the electronics from Jupiter, and the sandbox has come out of Saturn. Where has the water come from? I'm always thinking still Neptune has supplied the water, because apparently the oceans are upside down. Fido, number 160. Samsung, number S275. Well, why don't we read it a little bit better? That's 5275. Doesn't it look like 5275? Because that's what it is. 19 makes the moon. 2 times 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 equals 19. So it becomes 7. It becomes 7275. 7286 is 11 away. Samsung sings the song. 16 again, talking about TELUS. Same numbers. Another thing I was mentioning, hot and cold. You breathe in. When you breathe in, you howl at the moon inside. When you breathe out, you blow fire. We breathe in ice. We breathe out fire. They talk about the DNA, the Grand River. This is the month of May. This is the Mayans. It says, I am the sun. I breathe in the air and I burn the yellow and red fire. Bell owns Saturn. Do you know why Bell owns Saturn? See this nose over here? See the way it says W, beta creation of 5 or 3-5 or E5? Forget about that. Bell is underneath the ground. Okay? Not only is it underneath the ground, there's more to it, but nobody seems to notice because I forgot. But what we're going to do about Bell, this is the nose. It's right here. Because they're ringing our bell all the time. Every time the ducts open and go quack, quack, Bell is picking up a signal. It's all about communication. So they're picking up a signal through our nose when the bell gets rung. And then again, we could be talking about the G-point of a woman. Right there also when her bell is rung for certain reasons. So I'm not 100% sure which way, but do you not worry, the truth lies within. this is what it was. See this? Here's your nose. Here's your mustache on each side. Here's the split of the cat's nose. Right on the cat's nose is this split. Here's a foot in the water. Here's a foot in the water, and it spins all around. I don't know how it works, how the turbine works on your nose, but I see it's in the nose. The west nose and the east nose. Here's the same thing. Here's the sand pits, and here's the cat. Why is the cat like this? Because it's got a energy going in and energy going out. Out her whiskers also. So I think she's just turning half. These are the sand pits. Okay? So it turns and it moves inside of this. See it become the 3. See her become the C, just with two jars over here. See, this looks like it becomes the G, or does it not? Have we ever seen the Q? The Q has a point on one side, manana, because there should be 2 Qs. Q and Q makes one whole. Multiply 13 times 4774, 6776. Okay. Now, I don't remember what this was, but 3 and 3 is 6, 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7, same thing here, same thing here. 3883 times 13. I don't know what the number is. I have to get a calculator. I forget where I got this from. I think I got this. This would be 3. Yeah, the only way to get it is this way. This becomes 111. This becomes the creation of the 8. 4 and 4. 4 area and 4 area. Why? Because it's one straight line like this. It's one straight line like this. And it's 2 crisscross. 4 and 4 is 8. And plus it goes in one area. If it goes in from one area, it must leave from one area. So if 4 leave, then 4 must arrive. If 4 arrive, 4 must leave. Kindergarten, nursery, like I said in my other videos, okay, there's a chance we're actually in the year 2007 next year. In fact, if you even want, maybe we'll go back 13 years and say we're only coming up. Hey, what if I said like that? What would it look like if right now it's the year, this Christmas coming up right now is actually the year 2000. Right now. What if it was only 1999? Because Fight Club puts me into the series where it says right now it's 1999. But it can't be. Because if the big news is going to come at the end of next year, this year coming up would be the year 2000, or would it be the end of 1998? 999 and 999 is 1998. Would it be 1974? Because 42 atoms times 47 equals 1974. But what we're going to do right now is we're going to say it's the year 1999. And we're starting the year 2000 all over again. Is that possible? 2013, you already passed 12. No, you can't do it. You got to say it's the year 2000. We're coming into the year 2001. We're coming into the year 2001. We're 13 years behind. That's right. 13 years behind. 2014 makes it 2001. Okay, so we're in 2014. Now we're in 2001. So in October, when the news comes and the horn blows, and whatever they predicted about the year Y2K will only come true near the month of October. Why? Because you have to play the game. You're not complete. You started the game at 10. 6 and 1 is 7. Okay? If I want to get 10, I need a 4. 4 and 3. And 3 and 1 is 4. 4 and 10, October 4th. The one light, let me show you. 6 to the one light. Okay? The opposite of that, 6 to the one light, we're looking for 10. Okay, we're looking for 10. So the 1 is an opposite of the 6. Excuse me, the 6 and the 4. 6 and the 4, 1 and 3. Because if we're in an even number 10, okay, all 10s, all x's, x is x, v is v, okay, x and v is v. You do not have, there's no 20 in Roman numerals. Where was that? There's no 20 in Roman numerals. There's no 20 in Roman numerals. X and V, that's what it is. It's X and V. Okay? So when it's X and V, why is it X and V? Because this here that spins around crosses over one of these legs and turns the leg into an X. From a V and a W, it turns it into an X. You see the way it makes it a W? At the same time it makes it a V? Now what happens is you can go X, X, X. You can't go V, V, V. You can go 1, 1, 1. So the most you can go with under 50 is X, X, X is 30, a V for 35, and 3 aces for 38. Number 38 is the number I just showed you. Multiply that by 13, then multiply it by 31. I'm not sure what it is, I forget. I wanted to show you the other number of this. It's right over here. 3 numbers, 30 is creation. 1 number, 5 is the electric. 3 numbers in the third world. 3, 6, 7. We use 7 different positions. The V only shows you to be able to pass into the 2 worlds. It takes from the center and it passes its leg from one area to the next area. This, 4 times this, is 88. And it comes from 1x. All you do is put 2 V's on each other and it makes 88, the value of the V. But not only the value of the V, but the value where the lines are. It would be, if I would say it was 88, okay, V and V, you have to add on 20, because it would be in this corner of 1 and 3 and 7 and 9. Or, because this and this world are a reflective world, the world numbers will be the same. 3 and 1 and 1 and 3. 4 and 4. So 88 and 4 and 4 is 96. And now you have the cat's house. 7 and 8. 7 is here, 8 is here. In this sandbox and in this sandbox, they both turn around as 8 through the 7th key of the 6th man, because the 3 and 3 light. The 3 and 3 light and the 3 and 3 light. So we saw what the X and the V did, and we know the X is 24. We know the V is the 22nd letter, making 46, which is Israel and Zion, and also is Grover Cleveland, 22nd and 24th president. We still have to understand number 26, and we still have to understand number 17, and we have to understand why one number would go to the next number and how it goes to the next number. We all have to know. Whoever wants to know, I wish everybody would know. Then when we'd be talking together, we'd all know certainly in a certain domain the same thing. But right now we're all learning what I see, and I'm trying to, and I'm saying this because you can change anything you want if you can bring truth and a value within, no problem. Even when you bring it up, we never know until the truth is finished, until you've finished explaining it to us, whether we understand or we don't. To seize the hour of time says 4 o'clock. It says size, the one spirit of the 6th light in the word. Hour, size, Tim Hortons. Canes, 15, because it is the moon, or the half of the egg, because half of the egg is here, and there's a chance the other half of the egg, Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, because he went down to your ass, and he split up, and he became your coccyx. The egg of the woman, I'm trying to say, breaks in half like the Mercedes, makes the Mercedes design so it splits up into 3 120s, and goes down to the 2 sides of your ass. That's why they call it beta's ass. Okay, they go down to the 2 sides of your ass, and they make your 2 ass cheeks. So you have one part of the egg here, and the other one's on your ass. And you got 2 handcuffs. The other one can also be on your cuffs, to wrap around your cuffs. Something that wrapped around your cuffs. Why do I say that? Because in the playing cards, that's what they show around their cuffs. They also show a thing. Have you ever seen the playing cards? It goes like this, like this, like this, like this. That's also because it's showing the thing around your head that plays in the sandbox. Well, not because it's showing. This is what I presume and this is what I see. We are all here. Oh, my cat's playing dice. We're all here. This is not a one-person game, because this game is going to be a long time before we finish and perfect it. And the greater it gets, the nicer the pictures become. The greater the vision we have, the more we design within the cobwebs. Eensy weensy spider went up the water spout. Watch. Out came the rain, and washed the spider out. Carbon dioxide, we breathe in, we breathe out. We wash our brain with the water that's taken out of the air. Why do you think we have to pee sometimes and we didn't even drink? Because it comes out of the air. We're like fish out of the water. Raphael 7286 on a constellation of Pegasus. I'm going to try to get my phone working and paint and try to relax my bones and relax my bones. Anyways, when we do split the 5 into 4 from the X, you become 20. The X becomes number 10, becomes creation at 30, because now we're in the Roman numeral world. I think I broke my toe. Last night I got up for a juice. It's like the second week in a row that I broke this toe. Something's going on for sure, because things are too coincidental. What goes up the rapids? A train. What does it bring up the rapids? The air we breathe. So what are they breathing up where? When they filled up from Lake Mead, they sent something down, and the air, as it went down, the air must have turned up and turned upside down. So the salmon that go up the river, they breathe in, they die. The buzzing bee that gets his stinger out dies, because it's all about, it doesn't really die. It was never really alive. It was alive in a system that the entire life, the physical life is only felt by the person who owns the body is 10. 10 and 2. Man is 8. Man, M-A-N, equals 28. Okay, man is 8 and 6 equals, he has the 14 cross. Now man is 8 and 6, man is 8 and 6. His average is 7. Why is he 8 and 6? Oh, right, he is 8 Neptune. Okay, he is 2 beta, Venus. Okay, and he's I got to get this right. He's 8 and he's 6, but he's 8 Neptune, 2 Venus together, man 10. Now the question is, if we're not talking 9/11, so the ace inside the 10, okay, the ace inside the 10, which caused 9/11, okay, is something that man has to breathe to stay alive. So if they take the air or change the air, it changes man. Because he's in the beta world, in 2 different worlds at the same time within his own mind, and the same time we're on Earth, it's not actually the world that's true. So we're living a hoax. So where do we get the 10? We get it from 1 and 1. Why? 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 1 and 2 is 3. You have a total of 6. 6 is what happens when you become man. 6 is the light. Nothing starts until you get 7. So when you get 7 is 1 and 6. And when you play the game of craps, you get paid off or you lose your money. If you throw a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, you get paid off on 11. But if you throw a 2, 12, if you throw a 1 and 2, a 1 and 1, or a 6 and 6, you lose. Why? Because you can't win with 1 and 1. All you got is light and light. The light has nowhere to go. 1 and 2, the light is shining in 2, but it's shining in your eyes because you're 2. So when you put it into 4, 2 and 2, now you crisscross the 2 and 2, now you got 0. So when you're putting light in 0, 0 is that egg. 0 is the light, the spirit energy in order to be born. The soul and the spirit. Sorry, I shouldn't talk against each other. The soul, S-O-U-L, 19, 34, 44, 54, 55, 65, 67. It says water, W-A-T-E-R, 23, 24, 34, 44, E-R, electronic, resident angel electronic. W-A, 24, T, 44, space. E-R is 23, is 67, water and soul. Soul and earth. Earth is 52, water is 67. The answer, water and earth, 119, 9/11, basically. Raphael 7286, and the constellation of Pegasus. We'll keep it short. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. Ha 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 ha. Merry Christmas. Let me take a dip into one side of my hemisphere or the other, because this, my friend, for me, is fiber optics.